Welcome to Microsoft Excel lecture 05, where we begin looking at the practical part of Excel. And I hope you had a good time going through the theoretical classes that gives you an overview of what Excel is, what you can do with it, and how it can benefit your profession and career. I'm going to walk with you slowly and patiently to ensure that you understand every aspect of this powerful tool. And the copy of this open workbook which you're seeing will be attached to the link of the video. So download it and go through just as you'll be seeing the demonstration on the screen. I must also be quick to mention that you may see some differences in the presentation of the software from the screen. Do not be worried. That will be due to the differences in the versions that you are using and the one that I'm using. I'm using Microsoft 365. You may be using 2010, you may be using 2013, you may be using 2016, you may be using 2019 or 2021. Any of those softwares, you'll be able to do everything that you see in the screen. The differences is the higher the version, the more features and functionalities it has. But even 2010, you are able to do almost all advanced things in any way that you may want. The differences may just be on the approach. Newer versions get to change approaches and make them much simpler. So some of the differences you may see is the presentation of the icons. Like when you see where it says save here, this icon here, it may be different, or this icon for data validation or freeze pen or any of these, but the names will most likely remain the same. So do not be disturbed by any of what you may see. So I'll quickly walk you through in our getting started on how to create a new workbook and how to open an existing workbook. I have with me an already open workbook, so I'll close it and show you how to open it. So navigate to your folder where you have downloaded this same lecture. I have it under classes. So when I open the folder, it's lecture 05, it's here. So how to open this? I could right click and say open, or open with Excel, one and the same thing, or I could double click. So it's basically the same with the way you open other files. Could be video, could be audio, or anything. And this course is on Excel, not how to use a computer. If you have challenges with that, refer to my introductory course on computers. So I would double click in this case to open, and there we go. The other way you can open is when you already have an Excel workbook open, is to go on File. And as you can see, there are quite a number of options here. I'll walk you through all of them. Is to go on New, and the previously opened workbooks will be right here. As you can see, we're moving the cursor. If they are not there, you go on Browse and navigate to the particular folder. It could be in a flash, it could be anywhere. You can select it. Let me open this new workbook and it will open. That is how you open an existing workbook. To create a new workbook, I will close this. So to create a new workbook, there are two ways. With Windows 11, I think it's also applicable to Windows 10. I'm not sure. You right click, as you can see, I right clicked anywhere in the folder. Then you have these options. Then when you go on New, you have all these new files you can open. So in this case, when I say Microsoft Excel, this one allows me to give it a new name. I can say new workbook 2, or let me say lecture 05 and I press enter, and I could open just the way I had showed you. So I'll double click and open, and there it is. I could type something and do whatever I want to do. The other method is to go on file, and where it says new here, click on new. As you can see, there are some existing templates you can work with. In this case, not interested in the templates, I'm interested in a new workbook. So where it says blank workbook, click on blank workbook and you have your opened workbook. This one does not save the workbook like the previous method. If you are to shut down the computer, you lose the work. So you have to go on file again, save as, and select the folder where you want to save it and give it a name. So navigate to the desktop, classes, there, then I can give it a name here, new lecture 05 part 1. You can give it any name, an intelligent name that references the data that is there. So that is how you work with Excel in opening a new workbook. So take your time, pause the video, and practice what you have learned in this video. So I'll close this one. I'll close it and go to lecture 05. I'll open lecture 05. So we have looked at creating a new workbook and opening an existing workbook. Pause this video, practice, go through it. I'll pause this lecture and begin a new one so that it doesn't become long and it's easy for you to access. And in the next lecture, we are going to look at the user interface. And in our user interface, we have two main ones: application window and workbook window. So I'll walk you through in detail both types of interfaces, starting with application window. So see you in the next lecture.